Okay, students, so let us continue again with the primary and backup normal operation. Now, what is the primary and backup normal operation? If you can see the primary and backup normal operation, I have drawn a timeline. This is the timeline. This will show at the instant, at every instant, in what instant, which one is operating and how it is actually operating, so that you can have a better understanding between the coordination between, because it is very important to have a clear understanding between primary and relay backup coordination. So while solving numerical, it will be easy for you. So if you see the first instant, this is instant 1. At this instant the fault occurs. That's why this is given at A. This is nothing to do with the network, transformer line, transmission line, generator. This is a simple time axis. I am showing it is the first instant when the fault occurs. Then this is what happens after some time, what happens after some time. That's all. There are 3 parts in normal operation. Only in 3 parts I am showing. This is first instant. Then it is second. After some time this happens. After some time this happens. So what is happening sequentially, that I am showing. So at the first instant, the fault occurred. Okay. As the fault occurs, the primary relay starts sensing it. The secondary relay also starts, the backup relay is also starts sensing it, because if you can see the drawing, if there is a fault here, if this relay sense, then obviously this relay will also sense, because fault current will pass through this. So if the current is increasing here, so it is likely to the current is increased also here. So in both the cases, both the relay, sorry, not circuit breaker, the relays, this relay I am talking, both the relays will start sensing it. This relay and this relay, because the current is flowing through this. So both the relay will start sensing at the instant the fault occurred. That is instant 1 only. Okay. So they both started here, but the primary relay gives signal at the instant 2 to the primary breaker. Which one is primary relay? RB. Which one is primary breaker? Circuit breaker B. So it gives signal to the circuit breaker B. That is your primary circuit breaker. So the primary circuit breaker then operates. At this third instant 3, the primary circuit breaker, that is circuit breaker CBB, this will interrupt the fault current. Okay. So this is your primary relay. That is the primary fault clearing time. It is relay time, then it is breaker time. So you can see, as it happened, the backup relay, that is RA, that was sensing current, but it was not allowed to do some work in between this timeline. It will do somewhere here. The backup relay, that is RA, supposed to do something here, but here already current is 0 because the breaker is interrupted. So the relay will stop now sensing before giving any trip signal, because it was allowed to give trip signal after this time interval, after 3 seconds. I have given this much time, and after that this will operate. Actually in physical, in earlier days where there was electromechanical, there was a disc which was rotating. So some disc is allowed to rotate small and some disc is allowed to rotate very far. So the backup one is allowed to rotate very far distance. So both starts rotating, but the primary will hit the target after a small rotation, and the backup will take some time. It will be rotating a full cycle, then will hit the knob, so that the trip signal goes to the circuit breaker. So that's what used to do in earlier days, but nowadays it is programming based. So directly in the program they give command, it will trip after that second, then automatically it trips. So you can see that instance I have written it again in clearly here. The backup relay time is equal to primary fault, it should be greater than primary fault clearance, that is backup relaying time. TA is the relaying time, it should be greater than TB, that is your backup relay, sorry, here it is primary relay, B here is primary relay, and circuit breaker operating time of the primary, which one is also here, circuit breaker B is here primary, relay B is here primary. So this plus this, the backup relay time should be more than this. So you can see I have explained each and every instant. Instant 1, what happens? Fault instant. At that instant fault occurred. So what will happen at that instant? The primary protection provided by RB starts operating. That is, your relay starts sensing. The backup relay is also starts sensing. Both starts rotating. Okay. Then 2, what will happen? The primary protection will trip the command to the circuit breaker, primary circuit breaker. Here it is CBB. So the primary disc that was rotating, that will hit first because it was supposed to rotate less. The target it achieving is very near to its rotation. So it will hit the target first. Then once the trip signal is given to the circuit breaker, then there is no stoppage. You can't stop it. If you have given a trip signal to a circuit breaker, then circuit breaker will supposed to trip. It will trip only. So the primary circuit breaker starts operating. Once it gets trip signal, then it will start operating, but it will take some time. That is third instant. So in the third instant, the circuit breaker, the primary circuit breaker CBB, it trips because it got trip signal. So the primary circuit breaker does its jobs. So the current will return to a normal value. The fault portion will be isolated. So the normal currents will flow. So the backup protection that was provided by RA, that disc was rotating in the back end, that is the backup relay disc. But before reaching to the final point, the current is 0. So once the current means 0 means the fault current is 0 means the driving force is 0. So it will come back to its original position. So it will not be allowed to give any trip signal. So now what is the mal operation? How does problem occurs? So now you can see the mal operation. Here I have again given. This is the one again fault instance. There are 2, 3, 4 and 5. There are 5 instances I am indicating to show you what is the mal operation, not correct operation. So the primary relay starts sensing. So it is primary relay time. Primary relay has been given the circuit breaker to trip. So it is the primary relay circuit breaker time. Means at the instant 4, the primary circuit breaker will open the line, faulty part. But by mistake, because it is mal operation, the backup relay operating time is given, which is less than your primary relay. Primary fault clearing time is this much. The backup relaying time should be more than this, but you can see it is less than this. It is up to 3 only. Because it is less than this, the backup relay also hits the target. That is, it gives the signal to the backup circuit breaker to operate. So the backup circuit breaker, it starts operating. Even if the current is 0, because the trip signal is provided to the breaker here, you can see the trip signal is provided to the circuit breaker A here because it is the backup. Even if the current is 0 here the current is 0 because your primary circuit breaker operates here. But as you have given a trip signal to your backup circuit breaker a bit earlier, there is no stoppage. So backup circuit breaker will trip at 5. So finally everything will be off. Primary is also operating, backup is also operating. So your selectivity is lost. What is your selectivity? Only the fault portion should be tripped. So but here you can see the primary also tripped, the backup also tripped. So the entire portion is dark, blackout. So which is not desirable. So here you can see that is mentioned here. The backup relaying operating time should be less than the primary fault clearing time. That is backup relay operating time TA should be less than primary relaying time plus primary circuit breaker time. So again I have written clearly all the instant. Again you can go through it. A is the fault instant. So at that instant both the relay will start sensing. Both the discs will start rotating. The primary protection will issue the signal. Second instant primary have issued the signal. That means the primary disc has already reached its target. So it hits. It hits means it will giving signal to the circuit breaker B. That is your primary circuit breaker. Now at the instant 3, the backup protection also issues command. Before the circuit breaker, primary circuit breaker operates, the backup disc has already hit the target, which was not desirable. So it gives signal to the circuit breaker A to trip. So the circuit breaker A also starts tripping. So now in 4, the primary circuit breaker, that is CBB, already tripped. But as you have given signal to the backup before this trip happened, so that's why primary will also trip at 5th instant. So both operate here, which is mal operation, which is not desirable. Primary is also operating here, secondary is also. This is not desirable. Desirable was if primary is not doing its job, then secondary should do its job. Okay, that's all between primary and secondary. We will have some numericals on that. Next is different protection scheme. What are the different protection schemes we have? There are different logic. how different relays are coming, different schemes are operating. So in power system, different elements has different operating features and thus have different operating principle, different protection principle. So it is different from item to item, element to element. So now we can see the first, what is the first response? The first response is overcurrent, because it is natural. Because in fault current will be high, so you can think that overcurrent, if there you can sense this overcurrent, then it is done. So this is my first natural response. So it will issue trip when the current exceeds a threshold limit. But again, what is this threshold? You have already fixed. You will fix some value, 100 ampere, 10 ampere, 200 ampere, 1000 ampere, whatever. But the fault current varies. We have discussed earlier in the last class also. Fault current varies with the type of fault. If it is LL fault, LG fault, triple LG fault, triple L fault, it will be, fault current will be higher and higher. But in LG fault, single LG fault, the fault current will be lower. And if it is very near, then also fault current is higher. If it is very far, then also fault current will be lower. So it will depend on fault, type of fault and the location of fault, and also how many source impedance. While you have calculating fault current, you have calculated ZF. ZF is the impedance of the line, transformer, generators. So at that particular, when the fault occurred, you don't know when fault will occur, because it is a stochastic event. It is a probabilistic. It is random in nature. When it will happen, you will not know. So at that time when fault occurred, what was the system impedance? You doesn't know, because how many generators are connected, how many transmission lines are connected. So you cannot design it with before fault. What will be your impedance at that time of fault? So again your fault current will change, because that ZF change, fault current will change. So the reach of this overcurrent, I have already given some hint about reach in the last class. As the fault current changes, so the reach is also changing. Reach is also not fixed. If reach is also not fixed, then the operating time you will see in overcurrent relay. If the current is more, it will operate fast. This will rotate fast. If the current is slow, then it will is not bit so high, then Dix will rotate small. So this was the concept of overcurrent protection scheme. So as the reach is not fixed, the operating time is not fixed, so the coordination between primary and backup became problematic. So that gives a new idea, another idea. The relay engineers thought, why not go for a next idea that is known as differential? What is differential? Differential is an idea. Suppose you have equipment here, you have current going and current going here, current coming here and going. You take measurement from this side, take measurement from this side. You compare these two. If there is an error, then it should trip. It should not be error, because the current, how much current is going through, it should be out of this. Suppose it is 10 ampere, so 10 ampere should be out of this. If there is no leak, there is no path, external path between the line. So if you want to save these elements, suppose a transformer this is. So the current here, it will not be same. Suppose it is 1:1 transformer. We will see the details. So the idea was same. You compare both sides. If you find any difference, then it should trip. That's why it is known as differential. But again, there is a problem. If the input and output terminal are not nearby, if they are very far, kilometers away, then how will compare these two? So this is differential protection. Here the comparison is between incoming and outgoing currents. So the reach is creeps. Creeps means, again I have told you, it is sandwich type, because it is measuring this side, is measuring this side. So it is making a sandwich type combination. But if the incoming and outgoing part is not nearby, if they are not nearby, then there is a problem arising. So the new idea, what is the new idea now? The new idea is now distance protection scheme. What is distance? It will compare the voltage and current. The relay will sense both voltage and current, and it will calculate an impedance. What is the impedance seen by the relay? Then it will compare with the threshold value. It will give some impedance value earlier. If it is more than that, less than that, then it will operate. Since the impedance of the transmission line can be considered directly proportional to the distance, in the transmission line, the impedance is fixed. If the line length you are increasing, then the impedance will increase. More distance, more impedance. So that's why it is known as distance relay. So in distance relay, we are actually dealing something with impedance. So that's why it is known as distance relay, which is mostly used in transmission line. You will see it. So one more idea then. Another idea. This was your distance relay. Next one is directional. Directional relay, because there is a double end feeding system, because suppose there is a fault here, and this side is also a generator, this side is also a generator. There are loads here and there. Suppose there is a fault here. So current can come from this side also, current can come from this side also. So there is a bidirectional current can flow of this, or suppose there is a parallel line. One more understanding you will, suppose there are two parallel lines and generator was feeding. Suppose this is load. Suppose there is a fault here. So current can come from this side, the fault current. Another fault current can come from this side. So you see the normal current was flowing in this direction, but in fault time the current can come from this direction. So direction changes. So the fault can get fed from this side also, from this side also. So this is known as double feeding side. So that's why they have sensed of a new directional relay which will sense the direction. If the direction reverse, then it will trip. So that's what they are saying. So it is feeding from both sides. So for selectivity, relay must be sensitive to the direction of fault power flow, on which direction power is flowing. So that if it is flowing against its normal flow of direction, that means there is a fault. So in that case it will trip. It will sense only the direction, nothing else. No magnitude, nothing else. It will not compare with any magnitude value, predefined threshold value. It will only sense the direction. Now in a nutshell, if you want to see how many components and what are the different scheme. So if you see, these are the mostly components that are in a power system: alternator, bus bar, transformer, transmission line and induction motor. So you see these are the different schemes. Mainly I am talking about mainly the primary protection of all these. What is the basic primary protection of all these? So alternators, directional overcurrent they use, differential relay they use, distance relay in case of alternators. These three type principle is used. In case of bus bar, differential relay used. In case of transformer, differential for primary protection it's. For transmission line, non-directional overcurrent, directional overcurrent and distance. All these three. And large induction motor, non-directional overcurrent and it is differential this time. So now in your syllabus, what is there in your syllabus? This transmission line is there, what we will study in depth, and this transformer is there. So these two are there in your, and little bit of alternator is also there. So but alternator I don't think they have given in depth. I will see. So these things are there in your syllabus. So before we will start with the transmission line, this one. But before going to that, we will see some characteristics of CT, PT, and then some constructions of the relay. Then we will move to this. So that's all for today. Hope you are all safe. And those who have not subscribed, please subscribe it. And I have given the link of these notes in the description file. Here you can see I have crossed this one. This is not required. So we will not going to this one directly. These will come later. So I am not next day. I will not start this. I will give a new notes on CT, PT, and different types of construction. Then we will go to this in transmission line protection. That is overcurrent protection. We will see all these things. Till then, bye.